Hello, everyone, and welcome to Connections for Life. I'm Ted Pete.
I'm Chad Kuva.
Why did you lift your head?
Ted gave me a good idea.
You're welcome.
When I hang my head in shame, this is what I can look like.
That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like to us too.
Normally, this is what it looks like.
Is when you wear that for real the right way, where's the eye holes? Oh, through the. Oh, I see them now. I didn't actually notice it before. That's cool.
I guess that's one way to put it.
Whose kid is that?
It's the baby in the back. That's the full-grown man.
Baby in the back.
No, that's Hezbollah. Today is my real background. This is what actually sits.
Can you always wear that fisherman hat? Like, I feel like that's your retirement hat.
This is what always
get a
Typically the green screens here, though.
I have
So we
one
have
too.
my
Mine was
20.
black.
Let's go for just a little walk down my life. This is a 2020 calendar.
Wait a minute. Before you get started, for those who don't
understand my fishing licenses,
yeah, for those of you that don't understand, this is what it actually looks like behind Chad's computer. We've never in any episode ever seen what your background looks like. So now
this is real life.
Well, that's not real life. That's
that's Hezbollah. He's amazing.
Is that a picture of Logan playing hockey when he was like 6?
Yeah. But
Zoe next to him?
if anybody was paying attention, I have a fishing license too.
It's on the back of your head.
Know that expired on December 31st, 2014.
Should have brought your rod and reel. I got Fisher sweatshirt on. Look, it all goes together. It's all coming together. Ted, you any fish related?
And we sell Trenton products. Shameless plug. Sometimes.
No, I don't have anything to offer, Joe, as usual.
Now I look like Paddington Bear.
You kind of always look like Paddington.
Chaddington Bear.
Oh, Chaddington.
Chaddington Bear.
So what are we doing this week? Let's get this over.
This.
Happy New Year.
Oh.
Happy New Year.
That is a new year.
This is our first episode of year 3. Well, year 4, technically, right? We did 2020, 2021, 2022, now 2023, year 4 of our show.
Silly.
It's insane.
Silly. Still doing this. Still doing it.
I don't know why.
Is that what we call it?
Connections for Life. Last I knew. Last I checked in. CFL.
I thought we were just on here to talk. I didn't even know we were still recording stuff.
Well, we do have an interview finally again.
Yeah, that's true. We actually have 2 in the bank.
I got 2 on tap for us.
After we went dark for a while. I think the craziest thing is that like it was really easy to record during the pandemic, right? Like it was really easy.
Everybody's around.
We were. And now it's like we actually have our jobs to do again, which makes it a little bit more difficult. I know we've struggled to get one a week out, but I think we've done an okay job. I mean,
yeah, mediocre.
I wouldn't call it stellar.
I mean, it's probably how we do our real job. So
I call it serviceable. There's just times where we can't all be at the same place, even though we're.
Well, the thing is that we all travel and we all travel different places. So like to have us all in front of the computer at home what'd you eat? What is in your mouth?
I think it was hair. I think I ate a piece of hair from 2014.
It's probably one of your bear hairs there, Chaddington.
Oh no.
Bear hair.
You look like Fear and Loathing.
I just keep trying to change it every.
What's that movie? Who's the guy that was in
Johnny Depp? Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
You look like Johnny Depp there for a second with the.
Chad has never looked like Johnny Depp a day in his life.
Well, he looked like Johnny Depp if you look sideways and close one eye.
Like this?
Anyways, so what's going on? What's new, boys? Anything? How was the New Year's?
How was your New Year, Joe?
I didn't do anything. I sat on in the chair and watched Ohio State lose to TCU, and
wrong. They lost to
Georgia. Sorry, my bad. TCU was the game. TCU was the game before that. They lost to Georgia, and it was a really good game. And I don't know. It was almost like exactly when the field goal was kicked was like when the ball dropped.
Yeah, I didn't get to see any of that because of my experience.
Oh,
which is awesome.
What was your experience?
Oh, that's right. And you have a much better story.
We saw Dave Chappelle, except they locked our phones in the neoprene case thing. So
yeah,
like until 12:05, I couldn't do anything.
That's how Kevin Hart was too. They lock him in the magnetic thing that yeah.
It's pretty amazing how bored you can get while you sit there waiting 45 minutes for something to start with no phone. You actually have to like talk to people and stuff. It's strange.
Odd. Yeah, we had a little
fight. Chappelle was awesome though. Almost what Jon Stewart opened for him. Saw a fight that I wouldn't have been able to record because my phone was locked up.
Those are always the best ones.
I had to talk Lindsay down off the ledge and wanting to punch this guy in the face, which was fun.
Sounds also very normal. Sounds like a
normal.
normal.
No, not really. Not for Lindsay. It's usually me that wants to punch people in the face, and Lindsay's going.
Since you become skinny Chad and like
laid back Chad.
I wouldn't say you're laid back. You're just
chatting compare.
Yeah, I'm just a good example of chatting compare.
Did you wear that hat?
Did I wear it? No, but I'm gonna next time.
You're definitely getting into a fight.
No, nobody's fighting me.
When you walk into the Chappelle show,
they just feel bad for me immediately.
With your expired fishing license on the back of your hat.
2014 Pennsylvania fishing license.
Oh my gosh.
What about you, Ted? What did you do?
I didn't do much either, John. So we went to dinner with some friends and we were like, all right, we're gonna go out and grab a drink. And then everything was closed. Everything that we would go to was closed at like 9:45.
They tried to go to like Applebee's.
No, like there's a couple little local spots.
On a date night?
Nope, they closed. Nothing was open. So we went to our neighbor's house at like 10:05. And by 10:20, I was like, I'm going back down to the house.
See, when you don't drink, New Year stinks.
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of like a reason to stay.
Kind of stinks, anyways. I mean,
well, we're old now, right? Like, I don't know.
I was asleep. I made it till 12 o'clock, and I was asleep by 12.
I do remember why New Year's because everybody thought the world was going to end.
2000.
2020. 2000.
2000. 2K.
Yeah, and it was a heck of a night. Not a night I could talk about on the show. But
I went to
well, that's odd.
I went to was it the Y2K year? I don't even know. I went to the
I know exactly where I was and what I
Times Square.
Did you really? That's cool.
Once. It was horrible.
Horrible. Yeah, I heard that.
And I'm not
did you stand in the troughs too? Like you stood there all day, essentially.
No. We didn't. It was when we went. It was like a group of 5 idiots, and we or 6 of us, and it was so cold, so we all like had on. We looked homeless, like because we didn't bring anything for like super.
But I assume 2000, you could just probably walk into that area then, right? Now it's like 3 blocks on both sides. You can't even get there.
No, it was like
blocked off by like the.
So what happens is like there's like this main thoroughfare, and it goes like 50 blocks or something like that. And like by the time we got there, we were like 42 blocks away from the ball. The ball was this big. It's like
I did that, but I didn't go downstairs. We actually stayed on Hilton Points in DoubleTree.
Oh yeah, I remember you did that.
Remember? Yeah, that was incredible. But there was no way I was going downstairs because they put you in a trough. You can't even go to the bathroom. They don't even let you go to the bathroom. Like if you enter there at 11 o'clock in the morning, you want to be right by the ball. There's nothing.
I got hit in the head with a champagne bottle, and I don't know if somebody like threw it or hit me with it because you're literally like this. Like you don't know. It was okay. I just it was the
desire to do that.
I didn't. I'll never.
I would never stand there. To stay in Times Square was cool. Like that was really. I
wasn't even anywhere near Times Square.
See, but I
on like 53rd
what was
Street.
weird is all the avenue blocks are shut off. So literally, to get past, you have to have a letter and a key card and another thing from the hotel just to get past the military.
Really?
Like,
yeah. So when I went, it was before 9/11.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like that crazy yet. So, I mean, it was still pretty bad, but like it wasn't that crazy. So.
That's awesome. Sorry about it.
Anyways, New Year's.
What a good segue though for us. Like I like that. I like that conversation. New Year's Eve memories and that kind of stuff. That's pretty great. So, what else has been going on? We started a new basketball league in my life where we brought rec ball.
That's what you need.
Area.
Yeah, it's just what that sounds like. It was a great thing for you to take on.
It's the same thing I've been doing.
I know.
You're gonna change your last name.
It's like a youth league, though.
It's a youth league, yeah. It was really cool. You know.
See, I want to start a league like that, right? Like a youth league, but not for youths, for like adults.
There's no such thing.
Is there?
Yeah, it's called men's league.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of like
they have it in hockey too.
Yeah, but it's not like serious. Like it's not like dedicated. You know, like
nobody wants to be serious at that point.
I don't know. Maybe somebody does.
Yeah, those are the people I don't ever want to play anything with.
You don't want to play anything anyways.
Huh?
You don't want to play anything anyways.
Yeah, good point. Thank you.
I want to start like a league for old people that's like board games.
Board game night. I love it.
Yeah.
No,
All right, moving on. Awesome. That was a terrible. What else are we doing today? Oh, hey, I found something really interesting. I was talking to Chad about this very briefly earlier, but I read this thing the other day, and I just wanted to get your guys' take on it. So
yes.
Hold on a second.
The answer is C.
So
B.
So I heard the other day, and I don't, please understand as I say this, I don't believe it. I don't like, I'm not coming
up with all of the above.
I'm just, there's a disclaimer here. This is just what I heard. Okay.
This is going to be good.
I heard that oil is not a finite resource.
You told me this like an hour and a half ago, not like last week.
I know, but that's why I want to talk about it, because we didn't really talk about it. You were just like, you were like rifling through papers or something. And so the scientist said that in this paper, I didn't pull the paper, I just saw this blurb. I'm reading it right now. That oil is constantly being created from the heat of radioactive decay of the Earth's core in combination with tectonic action on minerals. And the Earth's spinning force is what causes oil to pool in certain areas. Meaning that oil isn't technically a fossil fuel. It's just
produced by the Earth.
It's produced by the Earth. And then I read that Rockefeller back in the day realized this, and to be able to make any money off of oil, they had to sell it to people with scarcity. So that people thought that there was going to be potentially you wouldn't be able to get it anymore, and that's how he was able to actually market it.
Here's the other thing, though. At Rockefeller, I mean, we weren't exactly very good getting oil out of the ground at that point. I mean, the biggest processing facilities were in Cleveland, believe it or not, because all the oil was produced in northern Pennsylvania, and they took it there and shopped it out. So I wonder if that's part of it too. But I do feel like it's the media spin and how do you sell?
I don't know, but that's an interesting thought, because like our entire lives we've been told that like oil is like
it's
not.
Who we talk to that would actually know that?
The scientist, he's probably dead.
Let's look him up.
I mean, I don't know. It could be like a flat Earth thing. I don't know, but it just like seemed to be like it's never anything I even considered. I just thought going to eventually stop one day, right? Once we're gonna.
Well, isn't that a funny thing to think about? Is like, do you guys remember some of the stuff we learned growing up that was like taught to us in school that has since been disproved as actually not what happened?
Yeah.
Or actually
Dude,
not
it happens all the time.
They never really go back and like.
No one ever says sorry.
There's no revision.
You ever notice that? You never noticed though that
like
that
Pluto.
Kind of stuff. Wait, you never noticed though that all that stuff's always bad. Like
Pluto, but Pluto was a planet, and then one day.
No, I'm not talking about Pluto, but I'm like, you can smoke cigarettes. That's bad. You should put asbestos in your walls for insulation.
Every doctor smokes camels.
Put lead paint in your house; it'll last longer.
Yeah,
right. I don't know. And I'm assuming that this sweatshirt that I'm wearing in 30 years, they will tell me that it causes cancer too. So, I mean,
that is such an odd color for you, Joe.
I know. I like it. Changing things up, buddy.
And I'm proud of you for like
getting more color in my diet.
You are a very like monotone gray, navy blue, black kind of guy.
You know why I'm wearing this today?
No,
because all of those colors that you said.
Yeah.
No, because all of the colors that you just mentioned are in the washing machine.
Basically, it's the last shirt you have in your house. Yeah.
Less sweatshirt. Yeah.
Less sweatshirt.
I mean, I could show up with a fancy.
And we know that it's 61 degrees in your living room right now. So
if you're lucky.
Yeah.
When you stand on the vents, though, he has really good floor vents. It's nice.
Chad was the kid with the hoodie over his knees.
100%.
Oh. Dude, I keep my house cold. I ain't no lying about that.
Listen, you can't even use the heat vent though at Joe's house. It comes out like air conditioning.
Yep. My house was built in 1890, dude. You're lucky it's even got heat.
It's amazing that it does have the air ducts in there. I mean, that had to be a feat in itself. It's not
the cold air intakes and all that. Yeah. Anyways, so I don't know. I just thought the oil thing was kind of wild. Like,
I like that one, Joe.
Different perspective.
I thought this is funny. You guys, we talked about New Year's Eve, and I looked it up for Times Square hotels while for next year.
$12,000.
The lowest one, if you have a corporate account rate, you can stay at the Hampton Inn Manhattan Times Square for $615.
You're gonna be shocked. Do it by points. It's gonna be like 90,000. That's it.
Yeah, points aren't as much.
I stayed for 75,000 in DoubleTree. I booked it a year in advance.
That's what I'm looking at.
Maybe they got wise though, Chad.
I don't know. It doesn't really go by dollar amount. It goes by like star value.
I'm gonna kind of crap on Hilton here because
let's do that.
System,
their
point system stinks.
Yeah, their point system sucks compared to
you can like go to a hotel and there'll be like $300 a night, or it's 150,000 points. That takes you like a whole year to accrue.
Yeah.
For
the weird part is the weird part is, Teddy, if you look at those on New Year's Eve, you can't if it's maximum occupancy of 4, you can't have more than them. It's
what do you guys think? What do you guys think you get like stay points? Like 2,000 really, right? Like roughly
like
when you
3,500.
Yeah. 3 to 30 because we're all diamonds, so we get bonuses.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say 3,000. Okay, so 3,000, and that room probably costs that 3,000 is usually multiple nights, right?
Yeah,
it's not single stay. I'm just saying for the average person.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's probably not. Let's see, $600 worth of room. Would you say?
Okay.
Yeah.
So for 150,000 points divided by 3,000, 50 times 600. You have to spend $30,000 to get roughly 150,000 Hilton points, which is probably good for an average 4 rooms.
Yeah.
That's at like a Hampton on a Thursday.
It's only 80,000 points. Chad, you were correct.
I told you. I stayed there for 75,000 points on New Year's Eve.
DoubleTree by Hilton, New York, Midtown, 5th Ave, 70,000 points.
That was 8 years ago.
Maybe that's a perk for members that people don't know about on special events and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know.
I literally, Teddy, I booked it like now. Lindsay was like,
I don't know, man, but I'm just saying, like,
and I was like, I'm going to look at it.
Marriott's got way better point system.
They do. Marriott has a way better.
Marriott steps up their point system. I'm switching to Marriott probably. I'm staking my claim now.
I'm not doing that
because the DoubleTrees are all getting run down. The embassies are getting run down. The Hilton Garden Inns don't even I don't know. They've lost their luster. I need something different. I'm gonna go Red Roof.
Are we doing a gas fact this week, or do we just run off the?
Oh yeah, that's right.
We run off the track. I don't have a gas fact background today. I can try and do it, but with no green screen, it's gonna be weird.
Then we're not doing it.
I can give it a go.
Do we have a guest? Are we doing the show thing, or are we just talking? This could be the new show format. We just get on here and talk.
No one wants to hear it.
It's fun. Everybody wants to hear this.
Seriously,
I don't.
Everyone.
This is all Joe Rogan does.
We're not Joe Rogan.
Yeah, but you're Joe.
He's a famous comedian. I'm some jackass that sells gray pipe.
You said a bad word. We cannot curse while Brianna's out this month, just so you know. We cannot use it. I know it's not a bad word. I am just putting it out there early. I wasn't. I was just leading it out there, and it'll probably be me that it up.
If you did right there, that would have been epic.
Just amazing to me. You go. You cannot say a bad word while Brianna's out this month.
Not until February 1st.
All right.
Let's
anyway,
see the gas stack background. Look.
That's my favorite one. I feel like I just stepped back in time. Like, remember that movie Pleasantville?
Oh, it does.
What is that with Brandon?
Yes.
Brandon Fraser. And it's like he's on a black and white TV show.
No.
Gas fact. All right. So, anyways. So, do you guys know the difference between natural gas, dry natural gas, and wet natural gas?
I think so. Can I try? Wet natural gas obviously has liquids. You mean coming out of the ground? Is that what we're talking about? It has liquids in it, but it's like propanes, butanes, methanes, like the different types of. It's worth a lot more than just regular natural gas. A ton more.
Okay, so. Yes. So dry natural gas I don't know if it's worth more. I have no idea. But
it is because it produces all the other byproducts without having to refine it. It comes out there.
Perfect. So dry natural gas is what commonly is referred to by people. It's used in your homes for heating and cooling systems, electrical power generation, things like that. Dry natural gas is almost completely methane. It's almost 100% methane. Okay. The higher the methane concentration within gas, the drier the gas is. Right.
Okay.
So wet natural gas often, again, needs to be further processed to get it pipeline ready. So in the processing plants, the water vapor gets removed and then the natural gas liquids are separated out. So all the other things, right?
Okay.
So wet natural gas contains less than blank % methane and has a higher percentage of liquid natural gases such as ethane, butane, and than dry natural gas. What percentage less?
Is it a multiple choice?
It is.
Okay.
15%, 42%, 85%, or 73%.
Can you just give me the beginning of the question? Like
Wet natural
like looking
gas
backwards?
Wet natural gas contains less than blank % methane and has a higher percentage of liquid natural gases.
42.
I think it's 15.
85.
I didn't never guess that. But that's why so Western the reason I knew that is because Western PA is predominantly all wet gas. And when there's wet gas, they make more money.
I don't even know why they call it wet gas, because the wet gas is almost the byproduct.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I would go out to like a well site and it would go through a little processing plant, and they'd actually have two different pipelines coming off the site next to each other, one for essentially liquids and one for dry gas, because they had the ability to separate it right there. But
so I just thought that
was Western PA, that shale play in the western part of Pennsylvania is all wet gas, and in Ohio and north, the shale play on Route 6 of northern Pennsylvania is all dry gas. So like that's why the dry gas kind of dies down a little bit, because when we're not drilling.
I wonder if that was like the T-Rexes, and down here with like the Stegosauruses.
Well, apparently it just is. Oil's just made from the earth churning stuff in its belly. It's like,
wouldn't that be crazy?
It's like gaseous byproduct.
Wait, back to what I said before about oil being not like finite. Wouldn't it be crazy if that was really the case? And we've been like literally like wars, and countries have like people have died over like that, and it's just
would not be shocked.
That's like water. Wouldn't that be nuts? Nuts.
Yeah, but what else is nuts is think of how many places don't get clean water in this world.
Nuts. Yeah, but I mean,
I know
that's
you know what I mean, though. Like, they just don't get any clean water.
Anybody else find it funny, speaking of water, that California is like under like flood watches, and like 6 months ago they were under drought.
Can't they put that in a bucket and keep it?
Save it somewhere? Is it gonna get a pool? I don't know. Anyways,
that's it. It is insane what is going on with our climate in consideration to what it's normally been like for the majority of our lives. But I just wonder is this just the earth taking place, or is this because of us, like everybody's saying it is? You see what I'm saying?
Joe, you're the person, Joe, that told me that scientifically one time it was proven that in the cycle of how the earth rotates around the sun, that we're in a phase where because it's not a circle, we're in an oval, that we're in a phase that we're just closer to the sun for the next 100 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like
the reality is the fact that that we are as arrogant as humans are, that we believe that we can impact what the earth is going to like. Let me just point something out there very carefully. If Mother Nature wants to kill us all, she gonna. We haven't figured out how to stop a tornado or a hurricane or nothing else. So let's just be upfront. I mean, look at what happened in Buffalo. They got 6 feet of snow, and it shut the place down for a week.
Can we have Chad's conspiracy corner, Joe? Is that cool? We can do a conspiracy every week.
Right after Big Stu's.
Just like my normal
right after Big Stu's whatever update. I don't know.
All right. Do we want to move on?
We have a guest this week?
We do. So. That leads me into it.
Who is it?
Erin Kurilla, Vice President of Operations and Safety at APGA, which would stand for American Public Gas Association.
Oh, you dug deep for that one, buddy.
I did. It took me a second. I almost paused and felt.
You closed your eyes even. You're like.
I did. She joined there in 2017. Before that, she was actually with the American Gas Association. She was the Director of Operations and Engineering Services. Pretty neat story. She handles a lot of really cool stuff, things on Capitol Hill, things APGA operations, pretty much everything you can.
How about we let her tell us?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Instead of me rambling and trying to figure out.
We can just skip her interview. Chad, what did she say about?
that was farther than yesterday. I don't remember all.
So without further ado, welcome to the show, Erin Kurilla. Hello, Erin. Welcome to Connections for Life. How are you doing?
I am so good. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure.
I've only asked you like, I don't know, six times, and you finally broke down.
I guess
I
was playing hard to get.
Yeah,
a little bit. No, I'm just kidding.
my favorite, and I'm going to tell this story really quick. When we were in Savannah, I said, "Hey, you should come on Connections for Life, our show." And she was like, "Well, you've never asked me." Erin goes, "You've never asked me," and I was like, No, we did, and you told Stuart to come on.
No, do you remember? We said, "Hey, she came up to us and goes, hey, thanks for asking me to be on your guys' show." And Joe was like, "I have like 6 times."
And you like, just really? Keep running off on Stuart. So
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Well, it just meant I needed you guys to be more than just a name in my inbox. I needed to meet you guys in Savannah. So actually, now that I met you, I want to hang out with you more. So
yeah, I think you just wanted to make sure that we were sustainable. So after 100 episodes, you're like, they're going to be around a while. No. All joking aside, you're with the American Public Gas Association. Yes. I know you've done some other things prior to that, but just kind of, how did you get your start into the gas industry, and tell us a little bit about your past?
Sure. So I went to school in the beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Yes. Go Pitt, hail to Pitt. And really, when you're in Pittsburgh, you're surrounded by a lot of awesome industries, but one of which obviously is the oil and gas industry. And so I majored in chemical engineering. I actually got into it because I wanted to go into like pharmaceutical manufacturing. I thought I could save the world by working for the pharmaceutical companies and making the drugs more cheaply. I thought that like I could do that and I could change the world in that way. A little naive of me, I guess.
Still a chance.
But ended up, I know, right? I know. It still could be a dream. So instead I went to work for oil and gas. No, I found my way to EQT, back then, Equitable Resources, Equitable Gas. And worked for the midstream company there for several years, got, my steel toes and hard hat, and went out and worked in the field on pipeline and compressor station projects. Loved it, loved the people, really enjoyed being out there more than I enjoyed being in the office. And so after about 5 years, felt like it was time, after 5 years plus a bunch of, summers interning with them and whatnot, it was time for a change. And so I made my way to DC. Still wanted to work in the industry.
Before we move on,
really important to me.
I've one question.
Yeah.
How in the world does the basis of engineering is like kind of the same, right?
I don't know if it's chat or me.
Basis, but chemical to work on pipelines is completely different.
Well, there he goes.
He doesn't know that his internet is bad.
He's caught up now.
Oh, he knows.
Hi, welcome back.
He knows.
He knows.
He knows. He doesn't know, and I'm going, oh, he knows. He knows. He can still hear you. You just can't hear
You want to try that one again?
I'm sorry. We were just talking about how bad internet is too sometimes. Weird. Chemical to pipeline engineering, completely different type of engineering too. I mean, that's got to be a heck of a thing coming out of college, going to that.
At the end, it's just like fluid dynamics, thermodynamics. A lot of pipeline engineers are chemical. Not a whole lot of chemistry happening there, but we're still making a product, right? And a byproduct, and selling one and getting rid of the other. And so that's kind of like, in some ways, it's the most fundamental chemical engineering, I guess, type thing.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, my first job really was, cool. Yeah. I went into chemical engineering, because I didn't want to do the pharmaceutical thing, but I wasn't quite sure. So it kind of worked out nicely.
I like it.
So engineer to now director of operations and engineering services at AGA. It's quite a leap, huh?
Sure.
APGA.
Yeah. No, it was AGA first.
Yeah.
AGA. My bad.
It was AGA first. AGA. So she went to work for AGA first.
Just out of curiosity, how did that happen? Like, how did you go from over to working for Equitable EQT to the director of operations at AGA?
There's not many, I'll say, of my peers outgoing engineers. People who really, want to be I always say I got tired of battling that one filter separator, that one heat exchanger that wasn't working properly, and really wanted to zoom out. I got my MBA at Carnegie Mellon at night while I was in Pittsburgh working for Equitable.
That's
And
awesome
so
too.
thank you. Yeah, I knew I wanted to do more than just work at a singular facility or deal with a certain type of equipment. And so I wanted to zoom out. I never in a million years imagined I'd zoom out this far, where I'm really just representing the industry as a whole. But you know, I like people. I like working in this industry. I like meeting new people. And so it kind of, when the opportunity at AGA first came up, I like that idea of helping people know more about our industry, being a voice for folks, and not getting so into the granular, but yet understanding the granular. It was important to me, and so the opportunity, it was just kind of the right magical fit for me, I guess. And so I jumped at it, and it all worked out.
How long were you at AGA?
I was at AGA for 5 years as well. And then when the infamous legacy Mr. John Erickson retired, or, you know, was planning his retirement from APGA, he and I had gotten to know each other just because we collaborate a lot with AGA. And so when he had his condo picked out in South Florida, he started asking me what I was up to and whether I'd be interested in making the three block walk down from to APGA from AGA.
That's awesome.
And so I did.
The 3-block walk, huh?
It's right there, AGA. It's very close.
Throw a stone at
it. So same metro stop, different building. That's all.
I think a lot of people are familiar with AGA, but maybe not so much APGA. If you wanted to just kind of quickly talk about what you guys do, what you do for them, and maybe some of our viewers who are not as familiar with the American Public Gas Association, just kind of key them into what you guys are up to.
Sure. So we're the National Trade Association that represents the publicly or community-owned natural gas utilities around the country. People are sometimes shocked to know that there's over 1,000 communities in this country that serve their own customers with natural gas. And so while AGA, yes, they have some publicly owned members, their large majority of their membership base is investor-owned gas utilities. But so what we do in operations and engineering here is really just support our members in what they do every day, right? So the construction, the maintenance, the operations, the integrity management, the training of the employees. I like to think of what I help folks with is just the bread and butter of what they do day in and day out. Most APGA members, the average APGA member has 5 to 10 employees.
Oh, wow.
So they don't have like a compliance manager. Some of them don't employ engineers at all.
Sure.
Some of them don't have a lot of in-house expertise when it comes to pipeline safety regulations. And so I try to be that conduit between the regulators and the small publicly owned utilities around the country.
It's a really good way to explain it.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
That was a really good way.
Yeah,
I was sitting here like, wow, I'm in awe.
yeah.
She's articulating this better than I've ever heard it done before.
I'm trying to remember it so I can.
The elevator speech.
The elevator.
I have to watch this over and over.
What is your title for everybody that doesn't know at APGA?
I'm the Vice President of Operations Safety at APGA. So how we do what we do and how we keep people safe, employees, public, pipelines, all of it.
Now,
Very cool.
I know kind of moving on into our next question that, do you have a career highlight? I wanted to hit on something else though, before we did that. And I think it's very near and dear to you. Maybe it's your career highlight, but the report you guys not you guys, that you pretty much just put out on the future of the labor force in the industry, that it has to change.
Yeah. I think, we're certainly proud of that. And I think that we as an industry have some of the best employees that are out there. I mean,
Sure.
you look at utility workers and especially public utility. I always like to say I get to work with the most casual guys in the world, and no offense to you three, but you kind of fit this mold, right? We are, we're gas, we're natural gas, right? We have our heart in gas, and we're, you know, utility workers and public to boot, right, at APGA. And so they're just so approachable. And I think that it's such an amazing value add to our country's workforce. And so regardless of where this, you know, industry, what energizing product is moved through the pipelines, we're going to be around for a long time. And so proud of that report. As to your question, I guess, about, you know, something I'm super proud for as like a career highlight.
Besides being Connections for Life.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Not even my career highlight.
Ooh, I'm gonna go like super maybe nerdy here.
Okay.
Have you guys ever heard of pipeline safety management systems in your? I haven't watched all your episodes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the episode.
So
Familiar. Yeah.
So when I first came to APGA, there was a lot of uncertainty and I guess nervousness around APGA's members and what SMS meant to very small utilities that employ 5 to 10 people. And it was kind of it felt like to APGA's members, it was a standard not written for them or by them. And so when I came here, I really tried to help break down the barriers between APGA members and the large interstate transmission liquid pipeline operators, as well as APGA staff and some of the folks over at the other trade associations around town. And I guess it was a little bit of my time working for like the largest investor-owned utilities in the country that I felt like I could kind of serve in that role. And so whether it was safety management systems and showing folks how to scale it appropriately and how it could really make an impact on the safety of their system, but also just their relationship with their employees about, hey, it's not just necessarily, you know, the cash register or anything, but it's really people safe and including your employees, right, and the public. Also, you know, finding ways to collaborate with the other trades around town on everything from, you know, pipeline safety regs to, you know, industry voluntary standards and stuff. I feel like we have such an amazing relationship in this town on all things pipeline, and it's really been beneficial.
I think
Isn't it
you're
really
right.
cool
That was
how she
really
referred to like the gas industry as essentially like this one communitive town, because it is. That was really awesome.
It was also a super nerdy response. So
I mean, I meant what I said. I like people, right? And so whether it's our members or the other trade staff in town or the operators, you know, at some of the largest pipelines in the country, I enjoy getting to know them and finding ways to collaborate. And so that's why
I think it's really neat what you know, kind of what you're doing, especially because I have some very, very large customers, but I also have some very, very, very small customers. And, you know, when you say 10 employees, I think, you know, one of my customers probably has 8. And I think what you do is pretty special in that, because I don't know if I knew that's exactly what you did. You know what I mean? Like, as weird as that sounds, but I appreciate that. The industry does too. It's pretty neat.
I think one of the coolest things for me is I've been around just long enough, like, to watch APGA really become like a leader in like the gas associations. I feel. I remember going years ago to a few conferences, and this isn't talking bad about any previous, you know, management or anything like that, but it just was not really something that was kind of that great or worth attending. And you guys now have just such an amazing, you put together just an amazing experience from not just the vendors, but also, at your events, but also the classes and also the members that show up. And it's always just really very well done. And I just want to commend you guys for that, because I feel like a lot of associations are kind of falling down a little bit like that. And I'm not going to name names, but I feel like you guys are definitely leading the way as to what it looks like and what the industry needs. And
I've yet to be to one of your events, but I'm going to attend one next year.
I know, you got to come.
We'll drag him to one. He was waiting for me to tell him they were really, really good before he'd come. He's kind of.
Well, I was waiting for this interview to see if I thought that myself.
No, I've been fortunate enough. We all have been fortunate enough to meet Dave Shriver, and obviously you and Stuart and just all the people that really are engaged with that organization. And you guys all just are so passionate and so really engaged with not only just your members but the industry itself. I think it's really commendable. I just wanted to point that out because I'm very impressed from the guy who goes to everything and under the sun. I think you guys just do a really, really good job. So keep that up.
With
Thanks,
that
Joe.
and $1, you'll be able to get yourself a ride on a bus. But,
it's like $250 now.
You do have great people that you work with. One of them being a close personal friend of mine now, the Colonel, and Don Olszewski. He's amazing. And I got the pleasure of talking to him on Friday, and he was sharing with me a little bit of what he sees for the future. But I'd like to know, where do you see the future of this industry going?
Oh my goodness, what a big question.
You better get it right.
The future of the industry. I mean, I see in my area of Northern Virginia, we see there's a lot of home growth going in, and believe it or not, people are still building homes, right? And at the end of the day, people are still picking out appliances, and they're still picking natural gas because people like gas. My daughter, my 3.5-year-old says, "Mama, can you turn on the fireplace?" And it's the click of a button, right? Because we have a natural gas fireplace. And I know some people shake their head and say, they still want a wood burning fireplace, but let me tell you, it's easy when you just press a button and it's warm, right? And so people want natural gas in their home, and I am glad to work for an organization that firmly believes that, and that will fight whether it's legislatively or within the regulations or in the states and federally to make sure that my choice as a consumer and the choices of my neighbors is maintained. And so, and I know Colonel Olszewski is so passionate about that, right? Passion is certainly a word that comes to mind when you think of him. But yeah, I mean, I also love the sector of what I get to do, which is maintaining those pipelines and building out new pipelines. Y'all, I think, are aware of, in the bipartisan infrastructure package in 2021 was a grant program for publicly owned gas utilities to repair and replace legacy pipe, right? And so that's exciting, right? That we know that there is continued investment in maintaining those pipeline systems because people still want them. And it's important as Americans, as Mr. or Colonel Olszewski always says, has a right to choose them. So we're going to be around. We're still going to be cooking your food and heating your home and warming your water for a long time to come.
It's a great point. I think a lot of people kind of get lost in the messaging. Sometimes they see and don't really understand how important natural gas is to not just America, but basically to the world. I mean, we all need energy to survive in everything that we do, and it provides such a valuable resource and allows people to, be sustainable. I mean, we sit and think about this. Is I've asked this question a lot of people is, back 100 years ago, the life expectancy was really not that long. I mean, it was much shorter, and it continues to get longer and longer. And everybody told us that the advent of medicine and things like that, better doctors, and really one of the things is accessibility to safe and reliable energy. And that's something that we discount that as being such a pivotal part of why we are so healthy and why we are able to live as long as we have, as we do. So great points. I think it's awesome. I said to you guys before, I think what you do is incredible. Super just impressed with your organization. I think that's why we've had so many of you guys on, because you just care so damn much about what you do. And I think that's really an awesome trait from all of you guys. One thing I did want to add, and this is, I'm just going to bring it up because Stuart browbeat us this morning. This is for you, Mr. Salters. You guys have a few, some committee meetings and some things coming up. If you want to just maybe plug those for folks, that'd be great.
Sure. So at the end of January, here in DC, just in time for the Hill staff offices to be full, APGA will be holding its legislative summit just across the street at a hotel right within walking distance of the Hill offices. Stuart and his team run that. They call it the Legislative Summit. It's held in conjunction with our board and committee meetings. And then right when everybody comes before that, after everybody comes back from the holidays, we are kicking off our Young Professionals webinar series. The first one is on January 6th with Colonel Oshevsky, and it'll be held every month throughout 2023. Like I said, people in this industry are awesome, and the young ones are really awesome because they have a big, shoes to fill. And so we want to make sure they feel they know all the resources that we have, and can hear from some of the leaders like Colonel Olszewski.
Yeah, great. All right, John Olszewski's gotten too much press this episode. Just kidding.
Too much.
I gotta beep it out. All the bleeps will be Olszewski.
Bleep that out. Just kidding.
All the
Colonel, we
bleeps will
love
be
you.
Colonel or Olszewski. They're not bad words.
Just kidding. We love you.
In all seriousness, his wife Sharon is the one that deserves all of the credit and the
100%.
You haven't ever met her. Yeah, she's the bomb.
Yep,
I
for
have
sure.
Because
you don't go out of the house.
Smart.
Teddy and I will be there for the committee meetings.
Maybe I'll come.
So we will see you then, if not sooner. I don't have anything else for you guys. Erin, is there anything you want to talk about before we let you get back to your actual job?
No. I just appreciate the opportunity to say hello. And thank you guys for the chance to just chat. You guys are, as you know, fun to talk to. We have a lot of way back connections between the Lehigh Valley and upstate,
I know it's
Clear
crazy.
Lakes and everything like that. So
I didn't want to talk about that. I don't want to alienate
you.
anybody, so I just figured we
Ted.
right past that.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, thank you.
He drove through Elmira. It's okay, Ted.
Thank you for coming on. I know we joked with you in the beginning about coming on the show earlier, but we do appreciate it. I think that we talked to Stuart about potentially coming back on, and we'd probably like to see your face again in another episode. I think you guys just have a ton to add, and if we can do anything on our end, it's not like we have a few followers that you want to kind of tire pump your organization. If there's anything that you guys have up and coming, please feel free to let us know, and we'd be more than happy to pass that along or have you back on the show. But we really do appreciate it and look forward to seeing you after the holidays. And boys, I don't know if you have anything else or.
No, it's incredible.
Thank you very much, Erin.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it. See you and happy holidays, and I'll see you in January.
Yes. Yeah. 1 month.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you.
Erin, thank you so much for that wonderful interview.
I want to do it because I could have literally been like, Erin, thank you so much for that wonderful interview.
Okay. Can we restart that?
No.
I am leaving this 100% right here because it made my day. Because
I think we can have it for every guest for 112 episodes of. Thank you, Erin.
Erin, thank you very much for being on our program. It's one of my favorite shows ever. No, she's cool. I mean, I actually got to Chad and I actually got to know her pretty well down in Savannah this year, and I know she's cool. She got a cool story. She got kind of a cool job. Like, it's nice to have young, passionate people in our industry. To kind of carry that torch, people that are like really invested in it and kind of grew up in the industry. Because Erin's still relatively young. I mean, you know what I mean, for like the industry, right? And she's been in it for so long already. Like, I mean, it's
she's about 16 years. I mean, she worked right. What was crazy to me is that she worked as an engineer for EQT before going to APGA. Right. Pretty interesting.
Yeah. So
but fits her personality well. I mean, her personality is
I hope you guys enjoyed it. She's really cool. I'm looking forward to getting to see Erin with Teddy and I think Chad down in DC at the end of January. We're going to be there for their committee meetings and
do I have to wear something
legislative summit.
Legislative summit.
I don't have anything fancy, so good luck.
Just wear a collared shirt, Chad, not a hoodie.
I'm not going to go.
I'm not. I'm going as Joe American. Like
with his American flag hoodie on right now.
I fish.
And I like the United States.
Yeah.
No, but we're gonna get to meet our congressman, hopefully, with the help of Big Stu.
I like the United States.
He's a simple man.
Simple man.
No, but it was good. It was good. It's good. I'm glad that we're getting back in the swing of things. I think we kind of like got dwindly at the end of the year. We were just like all tired and trying to like get through the stuff that we had to get through from our real jobs and the holidays. So hopefully we'll be reinvigorated and we'll hit the ground running here this year. We got some cool shows that we're doing this year. Some really neat stuff. If everybody will probably talk a lot more about this as we get closer, but AGA is going to be crazy. So
I've been telling everybody they can't wait to see what we're going to
come on down to Dallas town. So that'll be
Teddy's going to be just as surprised as everybody else.
Teddy, you don't even know what you're in for, buddy.
I don't know if I'm going anymore.
Oh no!
Oh, you're gonna go.
We already ordered you we already ordered the costumes for you.
Yeah,
we're all the same. You're just gonna look funny in it, funnier than us.
Why? How do you know what size I am?
Don't tell anymore. I don't even want any to sneak out. Let's stop. We're just wearing something different.
We know you're extra large.
Oh, do we know?
They said you were 6'4" and 3/4. They had a size for 6'4" and 3/4.
I got you a medium just so it looks ridiculous. Your pants will be at your calves. Sleeves right here.
I'm leaving.
And on that note, why'd you put your headphones in?
Why do you have a funny shaped hat on?
Who?
Him.
It's for the brand that we represent.
How'd you get that? And
they like me better than you.
I'm glad that you wore it the whole interview. I'm glad that you wore it the whole interview backwards so nobody could see who we were actually.
Did Dan give it to you?
No.
I hate those 5
pounds. No, I got it at APGA in Georgia.
It looks like you have a. Never mind.
That's the rim it comes with.
I don't like the 5 panel or 7 panel.
Yeah, seven panel.
It don't fit my head. I think I got one. It's not here.
All right, I'm done with the show.
All right, I'm gonna go home now.
You are home.
Damn it.
All right, seriously though, Erin, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We do really appreciate your insights, your takes on everything, sharing your story, and from the bottom of our hearts, we truly appreciate you.
And please like, subscribe, and share this video as much as possible. And I think we need like a good sign off, like signing off. I don't know.
Stay classy, San Diego.
I think that was
stay classy, upstate New York.
Yeah. Stay classy, morning.
We can come up with a jingle, a jangle.
All right, we're leaving. Bye, guys.
See ya!